So today is a floss tube extra, and I am going to be bringing you along with me while I finish up Sol Tropica. This is by Bella Filipina Designs, and it is on a 28 count Lugana in the colourway Cyan Zest by Llewellyn's Hand-Dyed Fabrics. And all that is left to do is to add the beads, the remaining beads. So that is what I am doing. Well, today for me it's the 12th of April on Saturday, but you won't be seeing this until the week after. So all that is left to do is the beads up in this area, and then there's a whole swath of beads down here. So I'm just adding those, and then we're going to be done, which is so exciting. This is going to be my first Fancy Lady finish. I've finished an Oracle Bit house, but they're quite small. This is like humongous. Oops. Sorry if that all went shaky for you. So I've been working on this tail, and the most of it is Kryneck in the colour Star Yellow. And I finally got that done. And now all I have to do is these few beads. So once I've finished this, I'm gonna have a break for the rest of April on my Fancy Fridays, and then work on Made Enough to Batter Her. So I've done both the pieces, this one and Made Enough to Batter Her are both worked differently, and the reason I did that was because there's so many different ways that people tackle these projects, and I wanted to try the different ways and see what I preferred. So on Made Enough to Batter Her, her skin is 1/1 full cross, whereas on this it's 2/2 as called for. And out of those two, I prefer the 2/2. So going forward, that's what I'll be doing. I mean, on Made Enough to Batter Her, I'm going to finish her 1/1. What else is different? On this one, I have beaded as I have gone down, whereas Made Enough to Batter Her, I'm saving the beads till last, which I think that's in the wrong hole. I don't know which one I'll prefer, we'll see. And what else is different? Is that it? Oh, I Made Enough to Batter Her, I'll be using a different beading thread. So I spoke about this one on my how I attach beads, and it does the job, but it's just not, I'm not loving it. So I'm going to try the Nymo brand of thread. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see the different ways of tackling them, doing the beading as I go or last, and the skin's different. So then when I do my next Fancy Lady, I'll know exactly what I like to do. I mean, I am dreading going back to 1/1 skin, I've got to be honest. But I've started, so I'll have to finish it. The one thing I am enjoying, because I've left the beading on the tail till last, is it is quicker to bead when you've just got the gaps. Like, you can just fly through it. Whereas when you're doing it as you go in little sections, it feels a bit less smooth, because you like stopping and starting and doing a bit of cross stitch, a little bit of beading. So it'll be interesting to see how that works across a whole project. It is a bit more difficult to bead, on camera, because, let me take that out, because I'm not sat as close as I usually would be. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that, but the thread is starting to fray. What have I done here? Let's try that again. But yeah, I've learnt a lot on this piece, I think. And the good thing I'm looking forward to about working on Maiden of Tabata is, because there's no beads on it yet, I can like stitch her on a Q-snap. Because this frame is really good. I love it, but it is just unwieldy and takes up a lot of room, and it's not the most comfortable. Like, I can get comfortable, but once I'm in, and then I don't want to move. So, and then of course there's my chatelaine, which I am beading as I go, because I don't fancy going back and finding where the beads go. So this back stitch here, which is in Krynic number 8, which is quite thick, it is charted to go right through these beaded areas, which I did up at the top, but then it's really difficult to get the beads in and let them lay straight without, that one's not laying straight, because they're sat on top of that thick line. So I've just left the gaps this time. Oh, that's not supposed to be there, too busy chatting. So yeah, I've really enjoyed working on this piece. I'll be so happy to get it finished. That'll make 3 finishes for this year, which I'm really happy with. One of them beads do not want to sit straight. I mustn't have pulled it tight enough. So these big beads are over 2. They're over 2 boxes, but because I'm stitching over 2, it is over 4. I do like to just place them before I pull tight, because they do like to move. I don't pull mega tight. I just want them, oh look at that now. I just don't want them wobbling about, but I don't want to pull them too tight where I'm distorting anything or anything like that. So these are my least favourite beads. They're stunning, like they're my favourite looking, because they look like variegated when you stitch with them, when you put them on. But they just don't sit right, and they don't, these beads don't really fit, like they're quite squished, and this is on a 28 count. So that annoys me. I do like the beads in my chatelaine, which I think are delicate. They're lovely, because they're all the same size. Like, there's so many of these beads that I can't use because they're just like deformed. So I do like the delicates. They're so uniform and they fit perfectly. But see, there's supposed to be another bead there. I'm not going to put that in because it's just going to be too squashed for my liking. There's supposed to be another bead there at the end, but I'm not putting it in. So I just had a bit of a panic moment on this piece as well, because I was doing all this chronic yellow, and I was running low on that. It calls for 1 spool of the yellow, and you only use it in the tail, so it's in the west, like her bum area, and then down here. But there's so much of it down here that I've only got a tiny bit left. Luckily I was okay, and I got all the stitches in, but I've only got like 1 strand left. So I was panicking, thinking, oh my god, no, I wanted to finish it this weekend. So when I get her done, it's like morning time here. It's about 10 o'clock, maybe closer to 11 now. And I'm going out tonight, so I want to get her done so I can get some housework done, and then I can get ready to go out. It was my sister's birthday yesterday, and she's having like a party. What's going on here? She's having a party. I need to refill one of my beads in like a Caribbean style bar. So she's doing like a brunch with Caribbean food, and it's like tiki looking, this bar. We went a few weeks ago. I'm not having the food because I'm determined to stay on track. See these beads, I don't think they're all going to fit in the space. So I'll be going a bit later on, after they've all eaten. It's like did I say it's like a brunch, so it's not like a formal meal or anything. And it's like bottomless drinks and that. I'm just not getting involved in that. No way. So I'll go a bit later, and my best friend will be there. Ugh, see, these do not fit. This is the bit that really annoys me, because I do like to follow the pattern. It kind of bugs me to not follow the pattern. These clusters are my least favourite. I prefer when they're just like this, if you can see that. Yeah, my best friend will be there, some family will be there, and my sister's friends, and my sister's family on her dad's side. We have different dads. This is driving me mad. Oh well. So yeah, I'll be nice to see some people that I've not seen in a long time. Oh, that is not going to fit. Yeah, it's not sitting right because it's on top of a stitch now instead of in a gap. Don't let it bother me. We're near the end now. So yeah, I'm just really focused now on getting to my target. I'm so close. I had quite a big gain a couple of weeks ago, and that kind of knocked me, and I just don't want to do that again. Not when I'm so close. But I can still go and enjoy the evening without going crazy with food and drink. I'm having a nightmare with these beads. Is it because I'm on camera? Probably. I often do that where I just kind of push the beads where I want them to go. And then once they're all in, they kind of don't have any room to move. I'm not afraid. So yeah, it should be a nice evening. My husband isn't coming, he's in work. So it'll just be me. Well, I say it'll just be me. I'll be with all my sisters and my best friend. I'm just going to flip this off camera and secure my thread and start a new one because I don't fancy trying to do it on camera today. And then what else? Oh, so I went for that job interview and they called me back and said it went really well. And they want me to go and meet the practice manager. So it's for being a receptionist in a dental implant clinic. So it's not a done deal yet, but it's looking promising. So I need to go meet the practice manager and hopefully that will go well. And the reason why I'm looking for a new job is because now my son's getting a bit older. He's 10 this year. So we're nearly at the point where he can like come, well, when he goes into high school, he'll be able to come home and be at home for like an hour or so on his own. So I'd rather do the transition now and potentially not struggle for a bit, but yeah, it might not be so easy at first, but it will get easier when he does get towards that time. So, and it's more hours, more money, so it will be beneficial for us. I used to work full time before I had my son, but I used to work like in a bar, so it was nights, evenings. So this will be 9 to 5 hours, well, 8:30 till 5:30. Monday to Friday, which means I'll have every weekend off, which I do have Fridays and Saturdays off at the minute, but Saturdays and Sundays would be I think the new job offers half day on Friday. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The interview, like I said, it went amazing. I'm not usually good at interviews. I get too nervous. But I've got so much more confidence than I used to have now. The last year has been a big learning curve for me in a positive way. So yeah, I felt a lot more confident, which was amazing. The two ladies that interviewed me were lovely. Oh, I've missed a stitch. What is that? Chronic. Great. At least I've noticed it now. Yeah, the two ladies that interviewed me were lovely, and it's always good when you leave an interview and you feel like it's gone good. Because then I was at the point where I thought, do you know what? If I don't get the job, then I'm very proud of myself anyway. Because usually if I go for an interview, I leave and I'm like a quivering mess because I'm just so nervous and I let it really get to me, which is not great. But there was none of that this time. It was very positive. So I'm hoping that something good comes of that. But like I said, if not, I'm very proud of myself anyway. So this year is going to be I feel like it's going to be a good year. I've had my little meltdown that I had with my mental health. And since then, I've just been really focusing on myself and just looking at the positives and not worrying about the negatives all the time, because that is a problem I have. So yeah, reach my target this year. Well, I definitely will. Potentially a new job. My son is heading into his last year in primary school. Bless him. He's been going through a rough time at school recently. He is quite sensitive. He's not overly sensitive, but he's got a real soft side, which is I love. His dad has that as well, which is strange because if you see my husband, he's quite he looks like a manly man. He's very tall, he's quite broad. He comes across as tough, but he is the softest person, and not just like with me, he's just soft and caring to everyone. And my son is very much like that as well. He's just really he takes things to heart, bless him. So in school he's been getting worried about getting things wrong, and he has a lot of trouble concentrating. And then he's worried about getting things wrong and not getting the marks that he wants. And a lot of the work we did with him to try and figure out what was going on was he wants to please other people, like me and his dad. He wants to get good marks and stuff, and we don't pressure him or anything like that. But yeah, that was his main thing. I'm worried about getting in trouble at school, stuff like that. So we had a meeting with his class teacher and the pastoral manager, and it was a really positive chat, and he was there and he spoke about what he'd been feeling, and we worked with the school to put a few things in place to help him control those feelings and, you know, not to worry about what we see as trivial things. To him, they're not trivial, they're a big deal. So then a couple of weeks after that meeting, we had parents' evening, and that was, we used that as like a check-in to see if there was any improvement, if it had got any worse. And there was a huge improvement, and I just want to instill into my son the importance of talking. It's so important to talk about how you're feeling, especially like men in this day and age where you know, mental health in men and the consequences of that are just at an all-time high. I was very proud of him for speaking out, and he was very nervous, bless him. And his teacher's seen a big difference in him, because at home, obviously, he's really confident. He's got such a funny character, especially for his age. Like, he has the sense of humour of someone much older than him. So like, I can have a real laugh with him. And his teacher had never seen that side to him, which, you know, made me sad that he wasn't going to school and feeling like he could be himself through worrying. So she said at the parents' evening that since we had the first meeting, that he was doing much better, and she'd seen a side to him that she'd not seen before. And I want him to go to school and be who he is, because he's amazing just the way he is. A lot of him not being himself was, you know, being more in his shell and probably worrying about what people think. So I'm very proud of him. He's off now for 2 weeks for Easter break. And he wants to go and watch the new Minecraft film. So I'll take him to go and see that at some point next week. And the weather's lovely. I don't know how long it's going to stay for, so we'll probably do a few shorter walks and days in the park and stuff. The reason I say shorter walks is because he's got a problem with his feet. We noticed it a few months ago, that when he plays football and goes on our walks and stuff, he's complaining of sore feet. And at first we just thought it was normal, like after activities, we all get like sore feet. But then it got worse and worse. And when we went to Paris, and obviously there was a lot of walking for that, he was really struggling and in a lot of pain. Why is that one in between two? So we took him to the doctors, and they referred him to what is called the Footsteps Clinic. And he's not been to the clinic, but the doctor said that basically when we walk and our feet are like flat and in unison, his are not. His are a bit wonky basically when he's walking. So they referred him to the Footsteps Clinic, and I just got a message yesterday saying that his application is with their team, and then we have to wait for him to get accepted, which I don't quite understand because we've been referred by the doctors. So we've got to wait for that to go through, and then we'll then have to wait for an appointment. And when we were speaking to the doctor's receptionist, she was saying that they're notoriously slow at getting around to referrals and applications and stuff. So, which is really frustrating because he plays a lot of sports. He is very active little boy and is in pain basically. So I was hoping it would be much quicker to get him seen, so we can just get on with it, get on with getting his feet fixed. I think they were talking about getting him some special insoles that are made for his feet, because we've got him some insoles that we thought might help. The doctor said basically don't waste your money, he needs like custom ones. So that means this summer is going to be a bit more, well, a bit less active than what he's used to. Especially like things that we do as a family, because we do go on our walks and stuff in the summer, and it's all well and good going for walks, but if his feet start to, you know, hurt a lot and we're in the middle of the countryside, there's not much we can do. He's too big to pick up and carry now. So we don't want to be like stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and he's got obviously in a lot of pain with his feet. We could plan a few shorter walks, which is what I said earlier, and have like walks where there's check-in areas where we can stop and have a break and recharge. But we'll just have to see how he gets on. He's been to football this morning. He goes training on Friday night and for this team, and then he goes to his football match on a Saturday morning, and they're so early. Oh my god, this morning his match was at 20 to 8. Like, what the hell? It's a Saturday morning. He's been to that this morning, and he scored a goal, bless him, which he'll be really excited to tell his dad. Him and his dad have such like a strong bond over football and sports and whatnot, which is lovely for them to have. I take a back seat in that. Let me just end this thread and I'll be back in a minute. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying that I didn't have much left. So I was getting so worried when I could see the end coming. I am just going to fill in that stitch before I forget. So I'm going to use this off cut. Where's my big needle? And I'll show you how I start my cry neck thread. So, because it's one strand, let me move this all the way. I go in, because I do my bottom leg from bottom left to top right. So I go in the top left with my one strand, go down and leave the tail out. And then I come back up in the top right. So this is the single strand loop start, top right. And I pull it until there's about that much left, and I hold that to the side. I'm going to hold that out of the way. Oh, don't mind my nails, they need doing. I go back down in the hole I've just come up in, and I pull that through until there's a little loop. I leave that there, and then I come up in the bottom left, and then I want to go through that loop. And this is difficult because I've got a short strand here. And pull that through the loop until it's like that, and I just tighten it on the front, and then I go back in the top right hole, pull it through, tighten it up a bit on the back, and then I finish my X like so. I'm going to park that over there because I don't want to flip my work again. And then I just snip off this top thread as close as I can get it, and then that's done. So that's how I do it. Now where do I need to be? So we've just got these beads around the bottom and then we're done. I've got a super long thread here. I need some more beads. Hopefully that'll be enough. You might be able to hear my son. He's on his game while I film this. Like I said, he's not long been home from football. So I need to get him off that game, get him in the shower, because he smells. Like I said, I've got some housework to be getting on with, so the joys. This piece has a lot of beads in. I don't know whether Maiden of Tropica has as many as this, but this has a lot. I don't know how it compares to others, but for me, this has been hard work. Enjoyable, but difficult to, put all these beads in. Oh. One, two, three, four. Let me just go and shut the door. I don't know what he's doing. He's singing. Put that there for a second. So yeah, I hope my beading video helped. I don't think I'm the best at explaining things, but it's there if you'd like to take a look at it. But beading is one of them things that you just kind of get the hang of. I'm not the most experienced. This is I did my small Noriko bit and then this, and then that's it. But I'm sure there's 1,000,001 ways that you could attach beads. So the more videos on YouTube, the better, because then there is more likely to be a way that just clicks in your brain. This is my last colour of bead. This is it. So I'll be dekitting this project at some point. Where am I? I'm also getting hungry now. Of course I am. I'll start to film and then I realise I've not eaten. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have a wholemeal pita with chicken, like chicken tikka pieces, and salad, I think. My tea's already ready because I've got leftovers from last night. Because I thought if I go to this party thing and I've not eaten and everyone's eaten, then I'll eat. And Caribbean food is not good for you. It's not something that is Slimming World friendly, should I say. So I do not even want to get into that. I was saying to my husband when we went to the golf course yesterday, last year when I first started going to the golf course with him, I was at the beginning of my weight loss journey, and I was saying, like, I never thought I would actually get there. Like, I think you start a diet and you have the best intentions and then it just drops off, and you're well aware that that's what happens. But to walk around this year and be so close was really great. And we were talking about it and how much like has changed, how much I've changed. Like I was saying, my confidence and my overall happiness with myself has just come along amazingly. He can see a huge difference. I can feel a huge difference. So it was really nice to go on a good long walk and reflect on the last year, what it's been like, and the ups and the downs. And I was saying that that's what I'm ready to be done with, the ups and the downs every week, being worried to some degree of have I gained, have I done good, have I done bad. To not have that every single week and only have it like occasionally where, I don't know, I've been on holiday or whatever. It would be so nice to kind of give myself that break and just settle into like the new me, the new eating, and just enjoy what I've worked hard for. He's lost a little bit. He's like, well, he's lost maybe nearly a stone now, just from eating what I'm eating and being a bit more mindful. He kind of saw the success I was having and thought, I could lose a few pounds. He's not a big guy. He's more broad than anything, I'd say. But he has a laughing joke that he's got the best dad bod. Out of all the dad bods, I've got the best one. So I think he's enjoying eating better and feeling better. So that's nice. Oh, and a little non-scale victory, which is a kind of bittersweet, but I can't wear my wedding ring anymore. It's way too big. It just flies off and I don't want to lose it. And I've decided to stop wearing it until I reach my goal. And I'm not going to get it resized because my fingers were so fat before that I had it stretched a lot to get it to fit when I first got them. And that weakens them, so then to get them reduced, well, they don't recommend it basically, so I'm going to keep them for like sentimental reasons and whatnot. I'm never going to get rid of them, but me and my husband are going to go out and see about getting me a new wedding band. I don't need 2 rings, that doesn't bother me, but as just like a reward, and yeah, I think it'll be nice. So I need to have a think of what style I want, and because I don't want it to be the same. I got a really basic wedding ring. I was not bothered at all. I just wanted a plain silver band. So this time I might go for something a little bit more glitzy, seeing as though I won't have an engagement ring as well. So that's something to look forward to. His wedding ring is actually getting loose, but I'm not sure. He might get his resized. But yeah, a couple of times while I've been out and about or in work, it's just flew off, and I really just don't want to lose them, so I just don't wear them. I've not worn them for the last few weeks. I went out with my sister and I pointed to my finger and she was like, oh my god, what's happened? Hold on, my sun is coming down. Yeah? Yeah.
Are we done?
No.
Do you think you could hoover BBs?
Excuse me?
Like the light Corbies?
Why? Have you got them somewhere in your room?
I'm shooting at my piggy bank.
You're shooting out your piggy bank? And what is it?
Like mini Orbeez. And they split open.
No.
Can't hoover them.
Don't be shooting them.
Oh.
No. If you want to shoot stuff like that, you need to go outside in the garden.
Okay.
I had to sort my son out because he was getting up to no good. Shooting, well, you probably heard what he said. Let me see where I am. So I'm going to finish these last few beads and we're done, and then I just nearly did a cross with no bead on it. And then I am going to sort my son out and try and keep him entertained, because shooting, I think he wants to shoot these like, they're like little, I don't know what they are really. Anyway, they're going to make a mess, and he's asking if they can be hoovered up. I'm not dealing with that right now. So, yeah, I just had to go and check what he was up to. He'd not done anything. He was asking if he could do it, and the answer was no. So yeah, I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to do something with him and keep him out of mischief. We'll probably have some lunch together first, and then God knows what. But We're nearly there now. I need more beads. That should be enough. I can't believe this is going to be done so quickly as well. I think, did I start Fancy Fridays in January? Or maybe it was last year, but I'd not stuck to it. This one is like really just flown by. I've put a lot of work in this year. And we're about 10 beads away. Less than 10. These beads are lovely, like the colours of the beads in this piece are just so pretty. The gold, the very rich colours. That still looks a bit junky, but I don't know what my next project will be for stitching on. I'm in two minds whether to pull something out that I've not worked on for a bit or to finish up Wildlife of Predators Goal. I'm not sure. I'll soon find out. See what I fancy. And just 2 more beads. 1, 2. I have to get all these beads back in the packages. And last one. Yay! So that is now a finish, which is amazing. Oh gosh, I can't believe it's done actually. I'm glad it's done. But that is it for today's video. So thank you so much for joining me for this finish. And I will show you the full thing on my next flash tube update. But yes, thank you so much for joining me today. And that's another finish ticked off the list. I hope you get some good progress in, and until the next time that I see you, happy stitching. Bye bye.